If you enjoy the taste of dairy, you're not alone. Not only does dairy taste great, but it also provides an excellent source of nutrition, such as calcium and fat-soluble vitamins and minerals. Unfortunately, some uncomfortable symptoms can happen when you ingest dairy, especially after you've cut it out for a long period of time. This happens because your body stops producing the lactase enzyme, which breaks down a sugar in milk called lactose. So I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you're curious as to how to eat dairy again, even if you're having uncomfortable symptoms or if you're lactose intolerant. So I'm going to be showing you today how you can reincorporate dairy into your diet and eliminate all of the painful and uncomfortable symptoms that can occur with lactose intolerance. Hey everyone, my name is Megan Garza and I'm a holistic health coach and certified yoga instructor. I'm also the CEO of Megan Garza Wellness. Before we get started, if you want to learn more about reversing lactose intolerance, be sure to give this video a thumbs up because it helps my channel and it also lets me know that you're enjoying this content. Alright, so let's dive in. So the first thing you can start doing is introduce dairy in small amounts. So don't go out and drink a whole glass of milk because that is going to make you sick. Maybe start with a teaspoon or a tablespoon and work your way up over time and figure out where your threshold is, because oftentimes you might be able to tolerate 1 tablespoon and then the next couple of days you introduce 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 over time, and then you can figure out where your body starts to tell you no more. Another thing that you can do is take over-the-counter lactase enzymes. So this is not something that you're going to want to do long-term because you want your body to be able to break down the dairy efficiently on its own, but lactase enzymes can help you reintroduce it, especially when you're first starting out. So the kinds of dairy that you can choose that are really easy for the body to digest would be things like yogurt, aged cheese, and kefir. So these also contain a lot of beneficial probiotics, especially the kefir and the yogurt, so that way your body has an easier time digesting. And then the next category would be the types of dairy. So this is going to be broken down into a couple of categories because this is where it gets a little bit more in depth. So the main difference you want to look for is A1 dairy versus A2. So thousands of years ago, there was a genetic mutation that changed the type of milk that the cows produce. So instead of producing milk that was A2 beta-casein protein, it started producing A1 beta-casein protein. A1 beta-casein breaks down a little bit differently than A2 and can cause a lot of the symptoms associated with lactose intolerance. It has also been associated with conditions such as asthma, allergies, autism, type 1 diabetes, colitis, and even autoimmune diseases, as outlined by Keith Woodford in his book, Devil in the Milk. The main breed of cattle that produces A1 is Holsteins, and unfortunately, Holsteins are the #1 choice of cattle in the United States because they produce a large volume of milk. So they're not looking for the quality of the milk, they're looking for the amount of milk that they can produce because you can get more money the more milk that you sell. Switching to A2 milk could definitely be a step in the right direction. So look for cattle such as Jersey, Guernsey cows, African, and Asian cattle. Goats and sheep are also natural A2 milk producers, so that's a great option as well. Unhomogenized versus homogenized. So the old saying, cream rises to the top, is definitely true in the case of unhomogenized milk. Homogenization is a process where they squeeze the fat molecules through tiny holes in order to break it up into smaller particles, hence why you don't have to shake store-bought milk. This process of homogenization extends the shelf life, but it also makes the cholesterol found in the milk more prone to oxidation, and oxidation leads to inflammation. So choosing unhomogenized milk would be an excellent choice. Grass-fed versus grain-fed. I know there are so many people out there, especially in the influencer world, who are going to try to tell you that grass-fed and grain-fed are absolutely the same, and that is not the case at all. Grass-fed cattle are not fed GMO grains such as corn and soy, so this makes their milk and their dairy that they produce way more nutritious. Grass-fed dairy is higher in conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, and that has been shown to reduce your risk of certain types of cancers and also heart disease. Grass-fed is more nutritious, making it higher in vitamin A beta-carotene and vitamin A retinol. This is why you see a lot of grass-fed butters and milks and dairies being more of that deeper yellow color. So always choose grass-fed whenever available. Full fat versus low fat or no fat. So I know that there's been a lot of confusion around low fat being better for you or no fat being better for you, and that is not the case. That was actually created by Big Food in order for them to sell industrial seed oils. Fat was actually prized by traditional cultures because they knew that it was a fertility boosting food. The fat is where you'll find all the fat-soluble vitamins such as A, D, E, and K2. So always pick full fat. Raw or unpasteurized versus pasteurized. There is absolutely no comparison for the nutritional profile of pasteurized and unpasteurized. Pasteurization is the heat sterilization process that the milk undergoes because the milk found in grocery stores comes from animals that are kept in very unclean living conditions known as concentrated animal feeding operations, or CAFOs. I'm sure you've seen lots of pictures of this with the animals being all cramped together, and that is exactly where your milk is coming from. The animals live in very close proximity to each other with absolutely no emphasis on cleanliness or the quality of life for the animal. So this means that they are routinely treated with antibiotics and hormones in order to keep disease away. A lot of these medications are unnecessary when the animals are living in accordance to nature, such as practices like rotational grazing. Now, the problem with pasteurization is it degrades the quality of the milk by a long shot. So not only is it lower in vitamins and minerals, but it also deactivates two critical enzymes that your body needs to break the milk down. So the first one being alkaline phosphatase, which is needed for calcium absorption, and also lactase, which is needed to break down lactose, which is the sugar found in milk. Most people with lactose intolerance find that consuming raw dairy has absolutely no negative effects on them at all. When you're searching around for raw milk, make sure that you ask the farmer a lot of questions about their practices, and if you are able to go and look around at their farm, sometimes the farmers will let you do that. Make sure to pick up that option as well, and ask if they do routine testing, because this will test for any kind of pathogens or microbes or any kind of bacteria that could be harmful in the milk. So there are some of the ways that you can reintroduce dairy back into your diet while eliminating the symptoms of lactose intolerance. So go ahead and start reintroducing dairy back into your diet so that way you can start reaping the health benefits and enjoying the flavor of dairy once again. That's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.